Testing, testing. Check.
Test, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
Call a special meeting of the dilapidated structures for the city of Lawton to order. Call the roll, please.
Hankins. Smith.
Here.
Chapman.
Here.
Gill.
Yes.
Hampton. Uyghur.
Here.
Williams. Present. Warren.
Present. If you would stand with me, have the invocation from Councilman Gill.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we come before you this evening to give you thanks for all the many blessings that we have. We ask you to guide us through this meeting, help us make those decisions that will affect the city in a good way. Help us use our strength and help us use our sensibilities and help us be guided by your hand as we govern tonight and make those decisions that are good for the city and good for all the people thereof. We ask you to help us all search for not only a good city to live in, but most important, a home hereafter that we can all go to and have a home with thee for the rest of time. We ask you now as we go through this meeting to bless all the families represented here tonight, and we ask you to go with us when we depart here. We ask all of these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, that brings us to unfinished business. Adopt a resolution declaring structures located at 4006 Northwest Meadowbrook Drive to be dilapidated pursuant to Section 6-5-1 Lawton City Code, ordering the owner to abate the nuisance, authorizing summary abatement, and authorizing the city attorney to commence legal action in district court to abate the nuisance. Yes, sir.
Apparently I must be really bad at this. Can I get your up, Donlin? This is the wrong slideshow. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Council, good afternoon. 4006 Northwest Middlebrook Drive is this structure had a fire date on 10/25/24. Fire damage throughout the structure. No permits have been filed as of 4/18/25. Inactive water since 12/13/23. We originally posted on this property on 2/10/2025, and original council date was 2/25/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I would open a public hearing. Anyone desiring to speak on this property, please come forward. State your name and your address.
Jason Cochran, 1362 Southwest Airport Road, Cache, Oklahoma. So this is the third time here. We're pretty much, I think, on the backside of this now. The engineer came out and said that the studs, that we couldn't go from the top plate up. I've gotten that information over to the insurance company. They're working on it on their end. I think they're going to be amicable to taking the brick down, but I'm still waiting on them. So I'd like to go ahead and pull the roofing permit on it to take the roof off, and then that way we'll just have a box sitting there. Shouldn't be any safety concerns with the box. Eyesore a little bit, but at least the shingles and the burn and all of that stuff will be gone.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
What is the feeling of the council? You have, yes? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. If there's no one else, there's no questions from the council. Close the public hearing, and
I've spoken with him and also with John, and he's been keeping John's department up to date on this, and I think that his hands have been tied with the insurance, but it seems like it's gone to a higher level now. So I would like to hopefully let him get a roofing permit to get that done, and that buys him a little time until hopefully the insurance comes through.
Yes.
is that a motion?
That is a motion.
That would be a motion to extend his allow him to have a permit.
I'll second it.
Right. Well, that's what I'm looking at.
I think, would that extend to an additional 30 days, to give them an additional 30 days?
Well, the way the code is written now, we do it in 90-day increments. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Is that okay with you,
That's
ma'am?
fine. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, so I've got a motion to extend this permit for 90 days. Do I have a second?
Yes,
I have-
second.
I have a second. Call the roll, please, or vote. That item was approved 7-0. Thank you, sir. Just stay up with John, you'll be all right. That brings us to business items. Hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution declaring the structures and all secondary structures on the properties located at 601 North. Are we going to do these, do we read them all?
I think we need to read them all, and then we do the
Individuals?
public hearings with people here. Do you want me to read it, Randy?
Yeah, if you want to.
Item 2, hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution declaring the structure and all secondary structures on the property located at 106 Northeast Arlington Avenue, 406 Northwest 6th Street, 601 Northwest Dearborn Avenue, 904 Southwest G Avenue, 1312 Northwest Baldwin Avenue, 1406 Northwest Lawton Avenue, 1418 Northwest Osmond Avenue, 1423 Northwest Osmond Avenue, 1510 Southwest H Avenue, 1606 Northwest Taft Avenue, 1612 Northwest Taft Avenue, 1706 Northwest Taylor Avenue, 1711 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue, 1715 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue, 1802 Northwest 13th Street, 1804 Northwest Lawton Avenue, 1805 Northwest Lawton Avenue, 1817 Northwest Lawton Avenue, secondary structure, 2002 Northwest 19th Street, 2108 Northwest Pollard Avenue, 2405 Northwest 30th Street, 2512 Northwest 19th Street, 3418 Northwest Lincoln Avenue, to be dilapidated structures pursuant to Section 651 Lawton City Code, ordering the owner to abate the nuisance, authorizing summary abatement, and authorizing city attorney to commence legal action in district court to abate the nuisance.
Okay, and I'm going to start at the top of the list of the people that are here, and we'll work our way down. When we get to the end of those people, I'll ask if there's anybody here that wasn't mentioned, and then we'll go from there. Let's start with 406 Northwest 6th Street.
406 Northwest 6th Street. This structure had a fire date of 3/24/25. Damaged roofing, broken windows and doors, damaged siding, damaged soffit and trim. We have been called out here for vagrant issues. There is active water on the account, posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Just state your name and your address, please.
Yeah, I'm one of the owners of the property. What you're looking at is a garage that was kind of, it's attached to the house, kind of by add-on, a little room that was there. But the main house is not damaged that much, but it has some damage from previous renters. And there was the fire marshal said that on his report that there was a guy was burning some girl's clothes and that started the fire. And that they said there was 5 people in jail or arrested, but I don't know who they are. But I'm arranging money to get it all cleaned up and remodeled, providing I can get the permits to do it before this happens. And so I'm sure my intentions are to remodel the house as soon as possible.
Are there any questions from council? Seeing none, sir, you do understand they've spoken to you about if the council does put this on the D&D list, that you can still pull a permit and get that work done. All you need to do is just make sure you stay at it and make sure that when they come around and check that you've done everything that you're supposed to do.
I had money loans approved to remodel this house
Okay.
and one other one prior to not the day before the fire actually, but I can't do it. Now I've got to do it a different way. But
Okay, thank you.
I intend to do that.
Okay.
If I could just have a few more.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Yes, sir. I'm
sorry.
councilman for Ward 5, and I would...
Just a second, I'm sorry, I got to,
Oh, I'm sorry.
if there's no one further that'd like to speak on this, I'll close the public hearing.
Yes, excuse me, I thought you'd already finished. Yes, sir, I'm a councilman of Ward 5. I went by and looked at all the properties that are on the Ward 5 list, and I went by and looked at yours. You are wanting to go ahead and fix this for sure, right, and pull some permits? I believe that you have, what is it, 90 days, 60 days to pull a permit on this, or else it will be tore down. But that gives... 6 weeks, I'm sorry, 6 weeks. Thank you, appreciate that. It'll be 6 weeks to pull a permit on this property to get it, to start getting it fixed. Every 30 days, I believe, he has to pull another permit. John, can you explain that process?
No, sir, it's actually every 90 days that he
Every
can
90
pull-
days? Every 90 days, you pull a permit, or call them, and they'll come and check on the progress of your work. And then you'll have to pull a permit every 9 days. But we certainly would like you to fix these properties up rather than to tear them down for sure, okay? But you can get with John after we finish this or one of his people and talk about how to pull that permit, okay? Okay, thank you. With that, I move to approve resolution declaring the structures on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
We've got a motion? And a second. Please vote. That item was approved 7-0. That brings us to 601 Northwest Dearborn Avenue.
.601 Northwest Dearborn Avenue. This structure had a fire date of 2/19/24. This structure had damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim. Vagrant issues have been called in on the structure. There is a secondary structure in the back in active water since 10/26/24, and we posted on the property of 3/26/25. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward.
Again. There's a lot of smoke damage in the house, but that right there, that one room is where the fire was, and I fully intend to. The reason that water hadn't been, there's been mixed up with there's 4 water meters on the property, and the water's been cut off because of leaks of 2 of the meters that are on the property, which don't belong to that resident. And so I'm working through that with the water department to try to get that corrected. But like I said, I fully intend to fix that house. It's not that bad, really, mostly smoke damage. And there has been some vagrant issues there, you know, people coming in that don't belong there, and that make a mess. But fully intend to clean that up.
Any questions from the council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Yes, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on this property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. We're missing somebody. There we go. That item passed 7-0. Brings us to 1406 Northwest Lawton Avenue.
Oh. 1406 Northwest Lawton Avenue. This structure had a fire date of 2/6/24. This one has damaged roofing, damaged mixing siding, damaged trim. We have been called out here before on vagrant issues. There has been a permit that has been issued to remodel this as of 4/16/25. There is active water on the account posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Just need your name and your address.
Patrick Hurd, 1 Wildwood, 73507. Longtime resident of 1601 Northwest Cash Road. A lot of properties from Zone 1 there on your list today, this being one of them. It's got a active building permit that's good till July 26, 2025. That's the worst angle. We do have a estimate for siding. The interior has been remodeled. Access to the property would have been granted.
Any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Yeah, my ward, he's got an active permit. You've also got estimations on the sidings.
Yes, sir.
If we put you on the D&D list, it gives you how many days?
30 business days to pull his active permit will actually go into a 90-day permit.
Okay.
It's good till July 26, 2025.
Yeah. I really don't even know what he's here for. I mean, just being honest. I mean, he's got a permit. He's working on the house.
It looks ugly in the siding.
I'm just confused as to why he's here.
So we've been having calls about vagrancies on this one.
No,
and then the
no.
fire damage of it as well.
No
That's the reason why we
vagrancies.
brought it on.
It's secured.
Okay.
The property's secured. There's no vagrant calls. When the fire occurred, there was someone who rented the property, and there may have been some vagrancy involved with the fire, but that was some time ago. But it's secured and being remodeled with an active permit.
So with an active permit, if we don't act on it, he just continues on until July?
Correct. He would still have this permit, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I just make I don't know if I can do it or not, but make a motion that we move this till his active permit expires, till July. Okay. Table till July, yeah.
Okay, great.
We've got a motion to table. Do I have a second? Second. We've got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to 1423 Northwest Osmond Avenue.
(1423) Northwest Osmond Avenue. This structure does have damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, damaged windows and doors. Once again, we've been called out here on vagrant issues in the structure. There is a secondary structure on the backside of the property, inactive water since 3/29 of 2017. We posted on the property of 3/26 of 25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward and state your name and your address.
Joanne Robinson, 611 Southwest Doolittle Avenue, Lawton 73505.
What have you got to tell us, ma'am?
Well, I'm not really sure. I don't know what to do with the property because I don't have the funds to fix it.
Well, John? I don't know, can she, if there was a nonprofit that would take it, she could deed it to them, but that's still not going to cure this problem.
Right, we still have that's possible, but there's still the public safety issue before us with the house and the problems that it poses.
What we're going to have to do is, you'll have 30 days, as they said, to pull a permit to repair it, which you don't have the money for.
Right.
Or to demolish it yourself. If you don't have the option of doing either one of those, about all you could do is, we will eventually demolish it ourselves. Sadly, that's the only other option that there is. And at that point, then that cost would be put on to a lien on the property.
Okay. If the city does demolish it, what does that cost to us?
Well, I don't know what the demolition costs are, usually $4,000 or $5,000, and then that gets put on to the tax rolls, so that if you sell the property, then that money would eventually come back to the city. The other option that you would have is to demolish it yourself, if you could find the money to do that, and you can save a little bit maybe by a discount on dumping fees, at least for a little while. That's really the only options.
I don't know. I can't afford it.
And you don't have to make that decision tonight. The council, more than likely, I don't know, but they're more than likely going to put it on the D&D, and you're going to have at least 30 business days before anything's done that you could come in and pull a permit to repair it or a permit to demolish it yourself. So you do have a little bit of time.
Okay, and if we can't get that time, do I need to call you and let you know, or?
No, it will automatically start happening in, I think
After the-
this young man right here beside you would
after
be
the
able
30
to.
days?
I'll talk to you after the council.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions from council? I'll close the public hearing, and what's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve the resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
What? No, I think he's... Yes, sir. Did you need to speak on this property? Okay, we're not done yet. Okay. I've got a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I've got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to 1711 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue.
1711 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue. This structure had damaged windows and doors, damaged siding, damaged trim, vagrant issues. It does have an active water count posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward and state your name and address.
Carrie Stimmel, 5908 Northwest Williams Avenue, Lawton, Oklahoma, 73505.
Thank you. What can you tell us?
So the wind recently took all the siding off on this side. However, this property, this is a duplex. This property is actually rented for $400 a month, and there's a back property that's rented for $625 a month. The front side of this property still needs to be rehabbed, and we're in the process of that. However, we also have properties that were just purchased off of 402 all the way to 412 Northwest 3rd Avenue, which we're in the process of rehabbing 410 right now. So this was set on schedule to go July of this next, or whatever July is, 2025, to start the rehab at the end of this property. Our property's clean. We've kept it clean. We've kept everything up next to this entire neighborhood. Unfortunately, some of the other properties we've had issues with vagrants. We've never had an issue with a vagrant in this property. All of our doors are working, both front and back. We do have them boarded because we did not want any possibility of anybody breaking into the property, and the same thing with the windows that are on the front side. So all of the front is still being boarded up so that we don't have problems, because we do have problems across the street with people dumping, putting up tents, as well as the two properties beside us.
Any questions from council?
And I'm requesting to please not be put on the D&D list, because it kind of takes away all of our progress that we've done on this property.
My words, a question for you. Can you move that up from your July date and put it on the top of the list?
Possibly. Right now, we're just in the middle of foundation issues on 410 Northwest 3rd. So the people that we have that are coming in for OKC, and it's just costing about $20,000 just to even do the foundation. So it's a money issue, so we're waiting to make sure everything lines up.
Well, you have 6 weeks to get permit. And so that...
I thought you said 30 days, but we're trying to not do.
Well...
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
It's a little over a month. It's a little over a month to get that permit, and then you could go down there and just start some stuff on it and continue.
Which also costs more
And-
money for permitting
and hope we don't pick some
city
of the other-
inspections, and
Hope some of
you
the-
know how it goes.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions from council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Yeah, it's my, I like to strike this and give her the opportunity to continue on. I like to table it,
Till,
give her 60 days. Yes, what's that? Second meeting in June.
okay, second meeting in June. I've got a motion to table this item till the second meeting in June. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to 2002 Northwest 19th Street.
(2002) Northwest 19th Street. The structure had a fire date of 12/5/24. Fire damage throughout the structure, damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors, vagrant issues, inactive water since 6/14/24. Posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Is there anyone here to speak on 2002 Northwest 19th Street? Going once? Going twice? What's the pleasure of the council?
Sir, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Councilman Warren, you didn't close the public hearing.
I'm sorry.
Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item was approved 7-0. Brings us to 2405 Northwest 30th Street.
(2405) Northwest 30th Street. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and door. Vagrant issues have been called on this. Inactive water since 4/14/2017. Posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing no questions from council, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, please come forward, state your name and address.
Hello, William Smith, 227 Northwest Mockingbird Road, Lawton, 73507.
Yes, sir. What can you tell us?
This home we've owned for a while. We had a windstorm, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's caught me by surprise. I was kind of surprised to receive this notice. I maintain the house myself. I mow it. I fixed fence and kept it up. But as you can see, the one side of the roof got blown off. There's a couple of pieces of siding that needs to be put back on. The back window over the door has been broken out, and I'd put a piece of plywood over it, and apparently that got either blown out or pushed out again. But my intent is, I've been in contact with the roofing company to get a quote. We'll be putting a new roof on it very soon. I'll fix the siding myself, and I'll continue to mow the lawn and pay my taxes.
Any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Sir, do you understand the process as far as probably this is going to be put on the D&D list, and you have so much time to pull that?
Well, I don't know that I know all the particulars to it, but I probably will be having a roof put on it within the next 30 days, I don't know if that's what you're getting at here.
Jonathan?
I'll be more than happy to talk to him about the permitting process of the D&Ds. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because we have a public safety issue, and also the vagrancy is an issue also. So with that, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
And a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0, bringing us to 2512 Northwest 19th Street.
(2512) Northwest 19th Street. The structure does have fire damage on it. It does have damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors, vagrant issues. Secondary structure is on the property. Inactive water since 3/23/2023. We posted on the property on 4/9/2025. Any questions? Hold on 1 second.
Seeing no questions, I'll open a public hearing. If anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward and give us your name and address.
Yeah, my name's Anthony West. This house has been set for 4 years. The problem I'm having with this house is in a trust. I can't give it away. I went to try to sell it and give it away to people. They say it's currently worth $12,000 as it stands. I've had legal issues because I went down to the city, said, I am the trustor. That means I have the authority to give it away at the sound of my voice. That's what the paperwork said that I read. I tried to show them my paperwork. I've had to go to lawyers. Sorry. Had to go to lawyers on this. I'm trying to give it away right now. I would like to see it, someone take it, not me, too old, too messed up, too disabled. I'm trying to give it away, but it is in the trust. So if they would draw, I told them they need to draw a permit and take the house. Otherwise, they'll destroy it. I can't do nothing with it, okay? And I also tell other people, anybody that can fix that house is welcome to take that house and get permits and take the house. But I have legal problems with it's in a trust. I don't know if it shows that it is in a trust, but this paperwork right here stating this is in a trust, and that's been holding me up. I would have had that house long given to somebody. I couldn't even talk to the people. I had to go see lawyers. It just, I don't understand why it was so hard to give a house away. Seriously. And I had vagrant people come in. I'm not going to lie. People came in my house and they were homeless. So yeah, let me just kick you out on the street in the middle of winter. I have no compassion. Yeah, I let them stay. Not going to lie. I told them if they could fix the house, they could take it. Okay? Because I can't do nothing with it. And that's the truth. I mean, if I was younger, maybe. If I wasn't disabled, maybe. But I can't do it.
Well, our hands are tied. We can't do anything as far as, and tell me if I'm wrong, but
Well, I mean, I understand the citizens' issues about ownership and trust, but ultimately the question comes down to whether this body determines this to be a public nuisance, and that will be a vote they will make.
I can get a structural engineer.
Well, the council will have to determine whether or not this constitutes a public nuisance. If it does, then that process will move forward.
Okay, I understand that. I had someone come out and inspectors, when I first had the house burned, I had somebody come out and tell me what I needed to do to overcome the situation I was in. I had to wait 10 months to get the insurance, which held me up. I finally hired a contractor, and I'm a Comanche County detention officer. Guess what? He shows up in pre-booking, and I'm the officer that has to dress this individual out because he's a criminal in Texas. Like, great.
yeah, that being said, as the acting city attorney said, there's not really anything that we can do other than move forward with our process.
Okay. I had a guy who was supposed to come here tonight, and I was supposed to.
You'll get
sorry.
rid of it under our process, because what will happen is, it'll be demolition, they'll tear it down eventually, then that money that it took to do that will go against that property and it'll go for sheriff's sale.
Okay, well, I got
So
it.
you'll get rid of it and everybody will be
Can
happy.
I ask a question, though? Is that the only property that it will go against? Because you could, if it comes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Because it comes down to it, if I don't want to pay anything out of pocket, you can have the property if it comes down to it. I won't contest it. It's just in a trust. Seriously, I can't do nothing with that property. I
Yeah.
have a house. I'm living in a house. I guess I'm good to go.
Okay, thank you. What's the desire? I'll close the public hearing, and what's the pleasure of the council?
Pleasure. Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second? Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Let's jump back up and do 1715 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue. Or is that going to mess you up if we do that?
Nope, you're fine.
Okay.
1750 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue. The structure had a fire date of 2/16/2024. Fire damage throughout the structure, damaged roofing, damage and missing siding. We've been called out here on vagrant issues, inactive water since 5/23 of 2019, and we posted on the property on 4/9 of 25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1715 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue, please come forward and state your name. Mr. David Williams.
Yes, sir. David Williams. I'm currently living at the place at 1715 Northwest Kingsbury. The fire damage was to the shop back in the back, and I've since got all that cleaned out. And all the windows, I got them unboarded since the other day when they came through. And I replaced the window panes and got all that kind of straightened up now to where it don't look like that anymore. I mean, the tree on the back is still up there, but just give me a little bit of time. I cut that tree down, and it just came from one of the storms that damaged. But like I say, all the boards, I know it looked bad there on the picture there, but I took all that down just yesterday and put in brand new windows, and so it don't look like that anymore. And stuff around the side on it, I kind of got a lot of those kind of little outside little deals kind of fixed up on it, so that it'll be a little bit more not an eyesore to the neighborhood. And I need to put a little paint on it, but if you give me a little chance, I'll put a little paint on it too. I just haven't had a chance yet because, like I say, the biggest thing was the fire from the shop back in the back was burnt down arson back last year, but I just got it cleaned out this year. And I just give me a little more time and I'll get that too.
Is there any questions from council?
Sir, did you say you're living there?
Yes, ma'am.
You're living there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I got water on, I got lights on.
All right, thank you.
Like I said, the fire was from the other part back there. It wasn't from here.
Okay.
According to our records, it says that there has been inactive water since 2019.
Okay, but the problem was my brother had a water bill, and I didn't have a water bill. So they wouldn't let me turn on because he hadn't paid his water bill. So I finally got him the other day to give me the money to go pay his water bill. So I went and paid his water bill, then I put my deposit up and paid my water bill. So I got water on now.
As of this morning, whenever I looked it up, 1750 Northwest Kingsbury Avenue does not have a water account active.
I got my ticket out in the car.
It's on 1713.
I got a water meter.
So apparently, the water account is from a different property that's going to his property, is 1713 is what he has.
But I own all the property though. And when I turned on, the water's on 1715, but they got the address at 1713. But I do have active water account.
So I would hate to do anything. You're living in the property. I would hate to do anything because he's living in the property. I would just move to continue.
Well,
Nope.
we're still in an open hearing.
Okay, I'll back.
Is there anybody else wishing to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Okay, so like I said before, he's living in the property. I hate to do anything that's going to make him move right now at this time. But you have to recognize if we move this to the second meeting in June, that you really have to show some progress. Okay? Because we're going to give you a chance, but you have to show some progress. So I make the continue the hearing in this matter to the second week of June.
We've got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to 2512 Northwest 19th Street.
That one's already been done, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have we done Lincoln? No.
No, sir, not yet.
3418 Northwest Lincoln Avenue. Needs to go back down.
3418 Northwest Lincoln Avenue. This one had damaged roofing, damaged soffit and trim, brick separation, inactive water since 1/31 of 2009. We posted on the property on 4/9 of 2025. While looking this morning, the property owner did pull a roofing permit for the structure. Any questions?
Seeing none, I will open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward, state your name and address.
Robert Crouch, Box 1927, Tulsa, Oklahoma. First of all, I want to say this is a nice facility because I haven't been in this since I was in junior high school. I'm glad to see it going to good use. But I'm a 50-year realtor, and actually wouldn't have been here. I have my business card and a phone number in the front window. Somebody would have called this back a month or so ago. We had it scheduled for the new roof to already be put on, but I didn't get the certified mail in Tulsa till just before it expired. And I asked them for a 30-day extension. They wouldn't do it, and I told them we already had a permit, or we're getting ready to pull a permit to do it. But we have pulled the permit, paid for the permit, and a new roof has been installed. And that house has been secured with alarm system. I can remotely control the lights in it. It's got Wi-Fi, and it has been secured with no problems at all. Got a new garage door on it, and it's been painted. If you go by it today, you can see that it's got fresh paint on the front of it even.
Anyone else want to speak on this property?
It's got a clean backyard too.
Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the desire of the council?
Sir, what is your plans for this house?
I just finished up a house in Crosby Park, and I was transferring the water meter from over there since my renter moved in last month when I got this notice, and I asked for an extension, and they said they wasn't going to give me an extension. I said, well, 10 days to working days is not enough to get it all done. We've already got the roof lined up, but we've had all the high winds and stuff and couldn't do it.
Your long-term,
Oh,
your
absolutely,
long-term
absolutely.
plans?
I've already got the laminate flooring and stuff in it. It's got a security system, alarm system, and cameras on it live right now. So, it's not dilapidated.
You could table it till the second meeting in June. Is that what we? Yeah, second meeting if you want to, and then just make sure that there's progress. That's-
He'll finish it.
But I've got the pictures of the brand new roof right here.
I'm glad, because this is, this does not look good, and we want our neighborhoods to look safe and secure.
And if you drive by today, you'll see the front has a fresh coat of paint on it already.
All right, then I move to table this till the second week in June.
I'll second.
I mean, we have to have another meeting on this one then?
I've got just 1 second, and I'll.
Okay.
I'm going to close the public hearing, and what he's going to do is, as long as you're making progress, when he'll bring it back and the council's going to let it,
You won't have to.
we'll let you off.
Huh? You won't have to.
You won't have to come back as long as you make
Okay.
progress. Okay, we've closed the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council? You made that? We did get a second?
Can I ask a point of clarification, Councilwoman Chapman? Did you mean the second meeting? You said the second week of June, which would be the first meeting. We do them every meeting now.
We've been doing the second meeting and the second meeting.
Okay, second meeting of June. That's okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Please vote.
We have two seconders here. Ariel. And this end. We have Ariel.
Has everybody voted? Here we go. That item passed 7-0. Now, is there anyone here that wants to speak on a property who we haven't called forward? Seeing no one, we'll start at the top of the list. 106 Northeast Arlington Drive.
106 Northeast Arlington Drive. This one has a damaged roof, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors, damaged ceiling on the inside. We have been called out here on vagrant issues. There was no water account to be found on this property. We posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion? Second. And a second. Please vote. That item, did we lose somebody? There we go. That item passed 7-0, bringing us to 904 Southwest G Avenue.
.904 Southwest G Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors. We've been called out here on vagrant issues. Secondary structure is on the property, inactive water since 9/29/2023, posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Anyone seeing none, and open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structures on this property are dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0, bringing us to 1312 Northwest Baldwin Avenue.
1312 Northwest Baldwin Avenue. This structure had a fire date of 2/16/24 and on 11/18/24. Fire damage throughout the structure, roof damage, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors, inactive water since 6/13/23, posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1312 Northwest Baldwin Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve the resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0, bringing us to 1510 Southwest H Avenue.
.1510 Southwest H Avenue has damaged roofing, damaged and missing siding, damaged trim and soffit, inactive water since 10/5/2022, posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1510 Southwest H Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve a resolution declaring the structures on this property are dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
The motion and a second, please vote. That item passed 7-0.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
we did skip over 1418 Northwest Osmond.
Sorry about that. That brings us to 1418 Northwest Osmond Avenue.
1418 Northwest Osmond Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors. Inside the structure has holes in the drywall throughout. We have been called out here on vagrant issues, inactive water since 6/13/2013, posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing on 1418 Northwest Osmond Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure?
I do have a question to John. Is this supposed to be 1418 Northeast or Northwest?
It's supposed to be Northwest Osmond Avenue.
So it is not Northwest Osmond Avenue, okay.
Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second, please vote. Item passed 7-0, bringing us to 1606 Northwest Taft Avenue.
1606 Northwest Taft Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, broken windows and doors, damaged and missing siding. As you can see from the picture, this is inside the structure with damaged drywall throughout. We have been called out here on vagrant issues, inactive water since 12/13 and 2015, and we posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1606 Northwest Taft Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second, please vote. That item was approved 7-0. That brings us to 1612 Northwest Taft Avenue.
1612 Northwest Taft Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged trim, damaged and missing siding. We've been called out here on vagrant issues. Secondary structure is on the property. Inactive water since 1/14/25. We posted on the property on 3/26/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1612 Northwest Taft Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item was approved 7-0, bringing us to 1802 Northwest 13th Street. Oh. Let's go back to 1706 Northwest Taylor.
Yes, sir. (1706) Northwest Taylor Avenue. This structure did have a fire date on the secondary structure on 11/29/24. Damaged roof, damaged siding, broken windows and doors. 2 secondary structures are on the property. We've been called out here on vagrant issues. It does have an active water account. We posted on the property of 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, open public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1706 Northwest Taylor Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Item was approved 7-0. Now we can go to 1802 Northwest 13th Street.
1802 Northwest 13th Street. The structure has damaged roofing, damaged windows and doors, damaged missing siding, and damaged trim. There is a secondary structure on the property. It does have an active water count. We posted on the property on 4/9/25. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1802 Northwest 13th Street, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Item was approved 7-0. Bringing us to 1804 Northwest Lawton Avenue.
1804 Northwest Lawton Avenue had a fire date of 2/4/25. Fire damage throughout the structure, damaged roofing, damaged siding. We've been called out here on vagrant issues, inactive water since 12/14/2024. We posted on the property of 4/9/2025. The property owner did call us this morning, and their intent on this property is to actually have it demoed. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to come speak on 1804 Northwest Lawton Avenue, please come forward. Seeing none, close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
So if they pulled a permit to demo it, do we have to have a motion?
Their intent is to demo.
Oh, their intent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement therefore as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion? And a second? Please vote. That item was approved 7-0, bringing us to 1805 Northwest Lawton Avenue.
1805 Northwest Lawton Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged siding and trim, broken windows and doors. We've been called out here on vagrant issues, inactive water since 12/19/2023. We posted on the property on 4/9/2025. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1805 Northwest Lawton Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. What's the desire of the council?
Move to approve. Okay, there you go. Move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item was approved 7-0. Brings up 1817 Northwest Lawton Avenue, a secondary structure.
1817 Northwest Lawton Avenue. This is a secondary structure. This structure has damaged roofing, damaged windows, damaged siding and trim. We've been called out here on vagrant issues as well. It does have an active water count to the main structure, posted on the property on 4/9/2025. Any questions?
Seeing none, open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 1817 Northwest Lawton Avenue, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve it. Move to approve the resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote.
Yeah, it's weird.
That item passed 7-0, bringing up 2108 Northwest Pollard Avenue.
2108 Northwest Pollard Avenue. This structure has damaged roofing, damage and missing siding and trim, broken windows and door. It does have an active water account on the property. We posted on the property on 4/9/25. We also spoke to the property owner, and their intent is to have this structure as well demoed. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll open public hearing on 2108 Northwest Pollard Avenue. Anyone wishing to speak on this property, please come forward. Seeing no one, close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve a resolution declaring the structure on the property a dilapidated public nuisance and authorize the abatement thereof as set forth in the resolution.
Got a motion? And a second? Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to business item number 3, consider whether to approve the property owner and to renew their remodel permit for property located at 803 Southwest D Avenue, per City Code Section 6-5-1-407, Section D, that states after 180 days, the property will go back to City Council for specific authorization by the council. Yes, sir.
1 second. 803 Southwest D Avenue. This structure recently had damaged roofing, damaged siding, broken windows and doors. A permit has been requested on the structure. Inactive water since 5/16/23. The original posting date on the structure was 10/9/2024, and original council date was 10/22/2024. Any questions?
Okay. Are there any questions? And
Yeah, I had a question. Who pulled the permit? Sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the property owner is trying to pull the permit. Yes, sir.
And who's that?
I can get back with you on that, sir. I do not have the information on me right now.
Tim's got something.
Is that named Kathy New?
That is correct, Kathy New.
Okay, so for transparency's sake for the council, just want to let you know, this property was originally declared dilapidated by the council on February 28th of 2017. A lawsuit was initiated by city attorney at the time back in March of 17, November 9th of 17. A temporary order was entered back in November 20th of 17, which gave the property owner, I think, 180 days to fix up the property, and then another 180-day extension. And so that process went through. I don't believe the property was finished with the renovations, or I don't know how much progress was done at that point. The case went dormant at some point, and I believe in October of last year or so, this came back to council, and it was redeclared dilapidated. I think the policy is if it goes more than 2 years, we do bring it back and redeclare it dilapidated. But I wanted council to have full transparency on what's been going on with this property, and that there have been significant efforts made to work with the homeowner.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. As everyone knows, I'm doing a lot of work with historical properties here in Lawton. Council, I put a history of some of the history of this particular piece of property. It was tied to Quanah Parker. It was tied to the Post, Henry Post, thank you, Wally Post, thank you, Councilman, and several other dignitaries. The property definitely has been a problem. I talked with the former council member that I replaced. That's what Tim was referring to. And I have had calls from a lot of the neighbors. So there have been problems with vagrants and whatnot. There is no doubt that there were some problems. I've spoken to the owner. She said that she wanted to do some repairs on the property. In the meantime, the Cultural Preservation Committee is doing a study on this property and filling out paperwork to see if there's any interest with the State Historical Preservation Office. I do not really, we would table this or do something else, but I think that she said that she was going to put some money into the property and get it sealed up and fixed. I spoke with John about it. So in the event that we finish our study and whatnot, I would just like to ask the council to allow this property to be worked on while we're doing our study and working with the State Historical Preservation Office. And with that, I make a motion to, it depends on what the State Historical Preservation Office is. It's a study. So, that was the reasoning why I thought that maybe if she could secure this and put some money into it and do some work to it for those people that are surrounding her while we're trying to get this study done, as soon as the study's done and we see whether there's interest in keeping this piece of property or not, then we can move forward if she doesn't take care and the property continues in the state that it's in. So I want to make a motion to go ahead and allow them to work on this property that's what I just answered. There's no specific time. It really depends on how the paperwork goes with the State Historical Preservation. Paperwork is being filled out right now to see if they have interest in it. And, yeah, table indefinitely until, well, we're actually trying to get her to put it back on where she can get a permit, right, John?
That is correct. If you do approve this, then she's able to get the 90-day permit so she can continue to work on the structure.
Yeah, and that's what we're asking in the event. I'm sure that if it does continue to cause problems after we find out if there's no interest in this property historically. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I was suggested by the attorney that maybe we table it for 6 months and then revisit it and see what the state, where we're at with the State Historical Preservation Office at that point. Second meeting in October.
Got a motion to table until the second meeting in October and a second. Please vote.
Councilman Warren, if council doesn't approve the extension of the permit, we won't be able to issue another permit because she's out of time. So maybe we could propose a friendly amendment to the motion.
Friendly amendment to extend the permit. Is that what you're saying, John? Thank you.
Okay, we've got a motion to extend the permit and then a second from a couple people. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Smith?
Yes.
Chapman? Gill?
Yes.
Hampton? Uyghur? Williams?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Got to be fast.
Okay.
If we can get everybody to come join us on the dais. Call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Lawton City Council to order. Please call the roll.
Hankins, Smith,
Yes.
Chapman, Gill,
Yes.
Hampton, Uyghur, Williams,
Present.
Warren.
Present. That brings us to a presentation of the, oh, I'm sorry. Let's call the meeting to order and do the invocation with Reverend Terry Marsh from Carriage Hills Christian Church, and then remain standing for the pledge, for those of you that didn't do it earlier.
Father, we just celebrated the greatest event in the history of the world when your son Jesus arose, offering to us forgiveness. You have blessed this nation, blessed the state, and blessed the state. We ask you to continue to do that. Father, please help us to realize that you want us to be just as much like Jesus as we do. We ask you to bless in that. Pray that you give wisdom to those that are making decisions tonight, and that all of us in this community will work shoulder to shoulder to lift up the name of Jesus, and also to have a safe and wonderful place for children and adults to live. I pray in Christ.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I believe at this time, the city manager has a recognition.
Yes, sir. Teresa Macias, will you come down, please? So Teresa is this month's Employee Spotlight Award recipient. And just as a reminder, the Employee Spotlight Award is awarded by the Employee Advisory Committee. So Teresa was nominated for this award by her peers. And she's being recognized this evening for passing a professional certification in HR. And it's a very challenging exam. It takes a very long time to get through it. I think the pass rate is about 50% on the first try, something like that. So that's why we're recognizing Teresa tonight. But Teresa is just really a model employee. You know, she's somebody that's here early in the morning. When I leave at night, she's one of the few cars left in the parking lot. A few years ago, she was our recipient of our Employee of the Year award. And she's just such a professional, and even after all of the awards and accolades, she still continues to improve herself and get better. So please give Teresa a round of applause. Okay, one more round of applause for Teresa. Okay, Sergeant Matt Dimmitt, come on down. This is one of my favorite people. A few years ago, well, I guess for the past several years, one of the big pushes in law enforcement has been community-oriented policing. And really what that means is, law enforcement agencies in the past have kind of been close hold and everything's kind of been tight, but community-oriented policing encourages our law enforcement officers to get out in the community, to engage with the community, and to establish a better relationship with the law enforcement agency that's enforcing the law and its citizens. And when I think of community-oriented policing, I think of Sergeant Matt Dimmitt. He is always out in the community, whether it be neighborhood watch meetings or one of the various Cops and Kids events. Cops and Kids go fishing. I know there's like 3 or 4 of them, and I can't recall all of them off the top of my head, but Matt is always out there engaging with community members. And one of the things that he's really been instrumental in recently is Matt is helping lead our homeless task force in LPD, and he goes out and he routinely engages and interacts with the unhoused. A couple of months ago, we had a really bad storm come in that brought some very cold weather. Matt was out there encouraging our unhoused to go to shelters, to get out of the cold weather, and that's just the kind of guy Matt is. Nobody told him to do that. He cares about people. He has a heart for people, and he's a truly deserving award recipient for this month's True North Award. So give Matt a round of applause. Okay, and the last award that we have this evening is something unique that we've never given out before. It's the Young Achiever Award, and I'd like for Tyler Hefner and Mom Audrina, you want to stay there and record? Okay, let me move into the center then. Okay, you can stand right there, Tyler. Colonel Baird, you want to join us? So a few weeks ago, Colonel Baird briefed at a council meeting. He talked about a young warrior that finished a half marathon at Fort Sill, and I was really intrigued by it, and so I reached out to Tyler's mom to get the full story. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this special young man and what he did. So when Tyler was born, he had both a congenital and a neurological condition that caused his left tibia, his left lower leg, to be shorter than his right leg, and it caused it to be curved, and also his left foot was significantly smaller than his right foot. So when he was about 1, he started walking, and he started pulling up on furniture and putting weight on that bone for the first time. It broke. And so for the better part of the next 3 years, Tyler was in and out of different casts. At one point, he had to have a metal rod inserted through the bottom of his foot to help stabilize his bone. And he just kept going. But unfortunately, his leg condition didn't improve, and so when he was 4, they amputated a portion of his lower left leg for the first time, and so he was able to manage and get through for a while on a prosthetic. That didn't work out, so there was a second surgery when he was 7. And that was a full amputation below the knee, and at that point, Tyler was fitted with a knee prosthetic, and since then, he's been absolutely unstoppable. So, yeah, go ahead and give it up. He's finished 2 5K races, and then also, as I just said recently, you finished the half marathon. High five on that. I would have trouble doing that. A lot of people out here would. And so, Tyler, it's just you've been an inspiration to a lot of us, and it's just a great reminder that it's not how you enter this world that matters, but it's what you do when you get there. So thank you, Tyler.
All right, so warriors come in all shapes and sizes, and so a 12-year-old warrior, so when he did the half marathon, he came in about 4 hours and some odd minutes, and it was really great to see. Here's the best part. He's only run 3 miles a couple times. So he signed up for this race, didn't train for it, just said, I'm going to run in 13.1 miles. And so for all those who have some excuses for not running long distance, you have a 12-year-old amputee who is going out there, never run 13.1 miles, and I'm just going to go do it. So warriors come in all shapes and sizes, so it's true resilience and grit. And what we learned today, which is really fantastic, is he's getting a running prosthetic. So he'll be the next Blade Runner and go out there and really shape the future for himself, hopefully as a future track star, as he continues to move forward and you know, breaking all kinds of hearts as he runs past him in his new Blade. And it's really great. So warriors come in all shapes and sizes. So Tyler, it's awesome. Congratulations, little man. Keep it up, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes? Thank you, sir. Y'all are going to have to work really hard to top that. This is a proclamation for Air Quality Awareness Week. Whereas the summer months being a higher incidence of days when the ozone pollution levels pose a risk to people and the environment, and whereas children, people with lung disease, older adults, and people with heart disease are more vulnerable in outdoor pollution, and whereas emissions from mobile sources such as automobiles and lawn equipment amount for over 50% of air pollution in the United States, and whereas utilizing Air Quality Index to characterize the quality of life, quality of the air is a simple way to create public awareness and protect the health of our community. And whereas the City of Lawton is committed to improving air quality through several initiatives, including enhanced traffic signal timing to reduce congestion and emissions, closing the water department drive-through on air alert days, and offering half-price tickets for the Lawton area transit system to encourage public transportation on those days. Whereas the City of Lawton, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality are working together to encourage Americans to utilize the Air Quality Index, understand its causes of poor air quality, and take action to improve the overall outdoor air quality. Now, therefore, I, Stan Booker, Mayor, City of Lawton, with pride do hereby proclaim the week of May 5th, May 9th, 2025 to be Air Quality Awareness Week. In the Lawton Fort Sill community, encourage all citizens to give full consideration thereof. Would one of y'all like to talk on this?
Air Quality Awareness Week is a national recognized week to raise awareness around air quality and the importance of knowing what's in our air and knowing the communities that are affected by it on especially hot summer months, and that's normally between June and September. And City of Lawton is doing many things to try and help support that and be aware of all that. Like the proclamation says, we are working on traffic signal timing to be not sitting in traffic and idling cars. We also encourage lots of other things on our website, and we do a kids campaign, which is the next thing, to help educate the next generation of what air quality is. We send out a coloring campaign of what do they think an idea of a cleaner tomorrow looks like, and they submit those in. And this year I was able to get bike vouchers to go to those kids as that prize for just competing in the campaign and yeah, supporting our cause of clean air Lawton.
Very good, very good. Thank y'all a lot. Now, let's find out who wins. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so our kindergarten winner is going to be Mr. Keelan Thomas from Cleveland Elementary, and he participated in this in Miss King's class. Our first grade winner is an August McCoy from Whittier, and he participated in this in a Miss Lincoln's class. Our second grade winner is a Brian Isaac Flores from Whittier Elementary, and he participated in a Miss Sanders class. I don't know why I want to do that. And our third grade winner is a Marty Sheffield from Flower Mound Elementary. And he participated in Miss Pendergrass class.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you, young man. Okay, that brings us to audience participation. Oh, I skipped reports. Let's start down on that end. Yes, sir. Tell me all about running.
Yes, go run. No, we had a great bunny run last week, so it was really awesome. Really appreciate folks coming out for that. The one thing I really want to mention again is the Army Emergency Relief Campaign that goes through 14 June. So Soldiers Helping Soldiers. So we're trying to get to $250,000 in honor of the 250th birthday of the Army this year. Great news, we're over $140,000 right now, well ahead of where we were last year. But any little bit helps. So for again, active duty veterans, National Guard, Reserve. If anybody's interested in donating, please get in touch with our Army Emergency Relief folks at the Army Community Services at Building 4700, or look us up online. It's really great. We'd love to have it. Again, we're trying to get to $250,000. It's really important as we look at folks across all ranks and age groups and you name it that could always use support, when they're in tough times. So really appreciate that. And then this weekend, we have a fully booked Lego Day at the Patriot Club. So those who signed up, we had like 105 families, I think, that signed up. And so it's really great, and so it's going to be an exciting time there at the Patriot Club this weekend. So thanks a lot, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Nothing? Councilman Uyghur? Tell me all about the farmer's market.
Yeah, that's it, that's it. Yes, I do go without saying, it is time now for a Tuesday evening food truck. If you haven't been out on Tuesday evening, there are all kinds of cuisines out at the farmers market Tuesday evening. Make your way out there and pick you up some food. You maybe try 2 or 3 different things. Also, we're getting close to getting fresh vegetables there, so it's a good time. You go meet some people and whatnot. Also, I want to just kind of give a shout out to all those that put out Open Street for the kids. That was a great success, and we appreciate all the support everybody had in that. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gill?
Sorry about that. I was very engrossed in what I was reading here. Good to see everyone tonight. It's always good when citizens come to the meetings and take firsthand in what's going on in their city. Short update on the roads and streets. Everything's progressing along the normal lines. Several bridges are being worked on. I'm sure that the constituents out there realize that because of all the traffic delays and lines, but it won't be forever, and then we'll have brand new roads and you'll be real happy. Wolf Creek bridges are in the move now, and that road is closed, of course, and that will be done in somewhere less than 240 days, and that'll be back open. And then last but certainly not least, the most important is 38th Street, and that has been let. Signs have been put out for the first part of the detour, and we're just waiting on the state of Oklahoma to give us our wastewater permit, and we'll be off and running. The dozers and the lay-down machines are out there right now with the engines running, so just as soon as we get that, we'll move right along with 38th Street.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
The Meadowbrook Hines Neighborhood Watch meeting will be next Monday, and the fraud detective from Lawton Police Department will be our speaker, and we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Chief Smith, for telling me about him.
Councilman Smith?
Yes, sir. Just a lot of great things. I think we have such a great city, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. I just want to remind people about the Great Plains Museum. Man, just what you can learn about our history is absolutely phenomenal. Right behind there is the Comanche Nation Museum, and that one is free to go to, and there is a tremendous amount of culture that's there. And I'm excited about the Aquatic Center towards the end of June, before the 4th of July, that's going to be open. And what I was reading about that is just so fantastic. So I just want to remind everybody, man, we live in a great city. We have great employees, and I'm just thankful to be a small part of it.
Mr. City Manager?
Just wanted to remind our citizens about the trash off on Saturday at McMahon Auditorium in the parking lot, April 26th. We've made a couple posts about it, so just a reminder.
Thank you, sir. That's going to bring us to audience participation. Lawton citizens who have completed a request to speak form and wish to address business not listed on the agenda may step forward at this time. To ensure compliance with the Open Meetings Act, the mayor and council will receive comments and will not engage in direct responses. However, they may refer matters to the appropriate department or individual for further consideration and follow-up. To participate, speakers must submit a request to speak form to the city clerk and reside within the city of Lawton limits. Each speaker is allotted 3 minutes, and with a maximum of 9 minutes per topic. The audience participation is limited to 30 minutes total. All participants are expected to follow the rules of decorum as outlined in the Council Policy 1-6. Is there anyone that would like to address the council? Seeing no one, that will bring us to the consent agenda. We're going to strike items number 9, 10, and 19. Are there any others that council would like to strike or pull? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve with the exception of 9, 10, and 19.
So move.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. That brings us to business item number 18. Consider approving a resolution of the City of Lawton establishing and declaring it its official intent to reimburse the city's general fund on behalf of one or more public trusts in which the city is a beneficiary for expenditures relating to acquisitions, construction, equipping, renovating, or improving of certain capital improvement projects for the benefit of the city, said reimbursement being anticipated to be funded from the proceeds of the bond issues for the same said acquisition, construction, equipping, renovating, and improving of certain capital improvement projects for the benefit of the city and containing other provisions relating thereto. Sir.
So Mayor and Council, good evening. This item is a companion item from a meeting we had this afternoon. The Lawton Industrial Development Authority met at 2 p.m. That's one of our authorities. They voted on a similar resolution. And what we're doing here, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, is earlier this year we did an amendment to the Lawton Youth Sports Authorities Agreement where we allocated an additional $550,000 to that authority for design, construction, and preliminary work for the sports complex. That came from the general fund. The plan, though, with City Council has set forth was that we will be going out for a loan, a bond issue, and we want to use that some of that proceeds from that future bond issue to recoup that money back into our general fund, specifically this $550,000. So that's essentially what this reimbursement resolution does. It's for tax purposes. Our bond counsel has prepared it. The Lawton Industrial Development Authority passed a similar resolution this afternoon, and we're asking you to do the same.
Are there any questions from council? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. I've got a motion to approve and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Bringing up item number 20, hold a public hearing and consider an ordinance for a change of zoning request from Mark's Corner LLC from the C1 Local Commercial District to C5 General Commercial District zoning classification for Lot 14, Block 1, Great Plains Edition, Part 1, located at 1421 Northwest Great Plains Boulevard, Lawton, Oklahoma 73505, and take appropriate action as deemed necessary. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Cameron Good with the Planning Department. This is a rezoning request located just east of Great Plains Boulevard off of Cash Road. This is Lot 14, Block 1 of the Great Plains Edition, Part 1. There is an existing strip center located on this with a strip center located to the south of it as well, owned by the same property owners. The request is to rezone this because there is a liquor store on the southern strip center, and they would like to expand their business and for storage of their liquor sales to this strip center, which would require the property to be rezoned. Currently, the property is zoned C1. There's C1 to the south, C5 to the east and west, and R1 to the north. This is the current site plan as shown. There's no changes with the existing building. And here's a street view for that property. This went to the City Planning Commission on March 27th, where they recommended approval to the City Council. This was noticed to everyone within 300 feet, and we received no phone calls for or against this item.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone desiring to speak on this item, please come forward. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. What's the desire of the council?
I'm sorry. Our sound system. I move that we approve this ordinance for this particular area.
Waive the reading.
Do we have to waive the reading? And read the title only, please.
We've got a motion to approve. Read the title only. Do I have a second? Got a second?
An ordinance changing the existing zoning classification from the C1 Local Commercial District to C5 General Commercial District zoning classification on the tract of land which is hereinafter more particularly described in Section 1 hereof, approving the site plan attached as Exhibit A, and authorizing changes to be made upon the official zoning map in accordance with this ordinance.
Please vote. That item was approved 7-0. Item number 21, hold a public hearing to consider a request from the city's Public Works Department to close a portion of the alley located near Southwest I Avenue between Southwest 8th Street and Southwest 9th Street, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the ordinance and utility easement. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. If you remember a little while back, you guys voted to close this bridge. It was an old dilapidated bridge that was determined just to be removed instead of replaced. And so with that being on the slate to be removed, we need to close the right-of-way to prevent access. And so that's what we're doing tonight.
Any comments or questions from council? Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone desiring to speak on this item, please come forward. Seeing no one, what's the pleasure of the council?
Yeah, I move that this be approved to waive the reading of the ordinance and read the title only.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote.
Well, an ordinance closing a portion of the 20-foot alley between Block 40 of the Woods Addition and Block 8 of Bell Addition and retaining a public utility easement.
Now please vote. That item passed 7-0. Brings us to item number 22. Hold a public hearing and consider a request from the city's Public Works Department to close the north approximately 150 feet of the alley located near Northwest Denver Avenue and Northwest 31st Street, just to the east of 3106 Northwest Denver Avenue, for the purpose of constructing a drainage berm and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the ordinance and utility easement.
Hey, this is another closing. There's a lot of flooding in this area, so the Public Works Department over the years has tried to create a berm to prevent some flooding of some of the neighbors. But with the alley still being open, it allows for traffic to come through there, which makes the ruts, as you can see, and it just kind of defeats the purpose of the berm. And so Public Works is asking for us to close this small portion of the alley so that they can recreate that berm to help prevent any flooding issues.
Questions from council? Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing. Anyone desiring to speak on this item, please come forward. Yes, sir. I just need your name and address.
My name is Odell Gordon. I live at 3113 Northwest Brent Circle.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm here to speak on the closing of the public way. I've been living in this neighborhood for 35 years. My backyard faces the south of Denver Street. And I see no reason of closing the public way because we can fix it if we can use some of that gravel and asphalt used on the highway that we're working on, not the highway, the roads that we're working on now, the excess or the overused or underused gravel and asphalt and concrete could be placed in there so it would not create a rut or a mud collecting spot after the rain. So if we can use that extra material for placing or rebuilding the structure of the road, it'll be a nice road to have. And I don't think we should close it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Anyone else desiring to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. What's the desire of the council?
Can we have a little further information about this, exactly what we're talking about? Because I'm not sure what to do.
Do you have any specific questions? I know we have Michael Watchers here from Public Works also.
Yeah, my question would be, why are we closing it again for?
There's some flooding in the area, and so over the years, we have gone in there and placed a berm to help protect that, but when the berm keeps getting ran over, it just breaks it down, and it leaves ruts like this. And so the option is to go back and put the berm in, but to prevent traffic that just drives through there. Except it will still be open for utilities, but it would allow that berm to stay intact and not have the traffic.
And how would that work exactly? How are you proposing to do that? By means of what? A fence with a gate or a berm that, I mean, if a utility vehicle can get through there, so can a car or pickup truck.
Correct. So we plan on putting in, if approved, there would be a gate that we put in there that would be locked with a sign, like we normally do for any kind of public utility easements that say, for access, please call, and it will have our phone numbers on there to be able to access for utility entrance.
So if they want to mow that or keep their fence clean or keep that alleyway clean, they're going to have to call the city to have someone come unlock that? I mean, will that be faster than paying your water bill?
It'd just be a pull gate, and that particular utility easement, I believe, is currently maintained by the city. I believe? No, never. Sorry.
And that's extra work for the city that we don't need.
That's not.
I'll make a motion that we leave it alone and go ahead and put the berm back in, and let's try it again, because we're penalizing landowners when we do that, and I'm not really sure it's needed.
I'll second that.
That's my
I've got a motion and a second. I would just make one comment is, I don't think the intention was for staff to block the entire entry into it would just block traffic from getting in there. You could still get in there with a mower or whatever you wanted to get in there. You just couldn't drive in there. But I've got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 6-1
Well, to leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone.
to leave it alone. That brings us to item number 23, receive an update from the chairman and vice chairman of the Youth Family Affairs Committee on the committee's annual written report, which is due to the council on May 1st of each year, as well as an update on the implementation of the new policies and procedures outlined in Council Policy Ordinance 24-78.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I'm the chairman of this committee, YFAC committee, and just staying in accord with the bylaws and the ordinance of making sure that the council receives this report. Vice Chairman, Mr. Epps, is going to give you a report for the past year.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to something that's pretty near and dear to my heart, which is the YFAC. And what I'll tell you is that last year the council found it prudent to make certain adjustments to how we operated. And all of that was in keeping with good stewardship. So we implemented some things. We redid the composition of the committee. There's an additional council person, but not too many so that we don't have a quorum. We've put parameters around when you could submit an application. We've put in an audit process, but in addition to that, and this is the part that I really like, is as a part of that audit process, applicants are required to come and get some training on how to do it. So entities that weren't necessarily trained in that particular area, we would help them out with the application process. So we put all these things in place to provide good stewardship and ensure that we are providing solid recommendations to the City Council. And so this year, we have 2 recommendations out of the 7 applications that were submitted. And what I'll tell you is I am very comfortable with the new process, and I think all of the citizens should be as well. There may be some discomfort for those that have applied in the past. They may not understand, why their application did not go through. But what I would do is encourage them to continue the process and just understand that we are following it to the T. We are trying to ensure that we are meeting the objectives of the council, and that the money is being applied to a program that fits that criteria that's laid out in that packet. So if they come to the training, they understand why the funding exists, and then their programs support that, then they're more likely to get approved. So I would encourage them to continue to do that, because there are great programs out there. A lot of the 7 that were submitted, good programs, may not have followed the application process to the T, so be encouraged. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions from
So
council?
you're also asking for some more accountability.
We are providing more accountability, yes, per the changes, and it's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
No, I just wanted to tell you thank you. He's also our vice chair
Yes.
on this as well. And I'd like to thank you for all the hard work. Couldn't have been a better choice. I'd like to thank you for all the hard work you put into it. Well spoken. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman, did you have anything else? We're just receiving it. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Excellent. Brings us to item number 24. Consider approving an ordinance pertaining to utilities, amending section 22-1-4-144, division 22-1-4, and creating section 22-1-4-145, both in Article 22-1, Chapter 22, Lawton City Code 2015, by eliminating exemptions and certain price reductions from landfill fees, creating state fee requirements, and providing for codification and providing for severability and establishing an effective date. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. This particular request is to bet the Fee and Rate Committee 2 weeks ago, and the discussion of that was to eliminate any kind of price reductions or any amount of free dumping at the landfill. And all this came down to is the state fee that we collect. We are not collecting it enough to actually pay that state fee from the money that we have been collecting for the state fee.
Any questions or comments from council?
So, Michael, can you explain that a little bit more, like how much we're currently collecting and what we need to collect in order to break even?
Sure thing.
And how short we are.
Sure. So if the first quarter, we have yet to get the third quarter information for this fiscal year. So the first quarter, we were short about $49,916.74. The second quarter, we were under $60,857.78 for the state fee that's collected. And that state fee is $1.25 per ton that's deposited at the landfill.
Without getting into a lot more red tape, I believe it's about 178,000 shortfall last year just to the state. Is that not correct?
Correct. That was last year.
Right. But it's going to be worse this year, certainly no better. And the point of this fee was we have a lot of people dumping out there that we don't really, or we're not able to really keep control of, especially, for example, when the city has projects and we let them dump free. So we changed all that. They'll buy their permits, they'll pay for their dumping, and then the city basically pays for it. But we can keep accountability and we can keep the accounting that way and keep it in such a manner. And we have a lot of people that use that dump for free, and it's been great, but our budget's pretty short, and we're not even paying the state. So that was the reason for that.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, with the free, when a citizen goes out to dump their trash from their home or whatnot, or debris, what is the actual charge that they're going to have?
So it would be, it would go up to the $1.25 per ton that they deposit in there, and that's prorated. So if they only bring in half a ton, then that would be the 63 cents, essentially, is what it would be amount to for that.
So there's a small incremental cost now that the citizens would have to pay. And that was, what, $1, how much a ton?
It's $1.25 per ton. This is at the landfill, at the landfill itself.
Okay, thank you.
Council, I would just say that it's very important that we capture everything that we can capture at the landfill. It's a horribly, horribly expensive endeavor out there. There's a lot of heartburn. People don't think you should make a profit, but we definitely should break even. And the profit end of that is that eventually you have to buy more land and you have to build another pit and you have to line that and you have to do all that stuff again. So you got to think about the future today. So, yes, ma'am.
Fair Council, I move to adopt and approve the ordinance, waive the reading of the ordinance, and read the title of.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second.
An ordinance pertaining to utilities, amending section 22-14144, division 22-14, and creating section 22-14145, both in articles 22-1, chapter 22, Lawton City Code 2015, by eliminating exemptions and certain price reductions from landfill fees and creating state fee requirements, providing for codification, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Item number 25, consider approving a resolution amending Article A-22-1, Chapter A-22, Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges, Lawton City Code 2015, pertaining to utilities by including the state fee requirements into the schedule and eliminating exemptions and certain price reductions from landfill fees.
This is a companion item to our last item that just amends the fee schedule to match with the ordinance that was previously passed.
Got a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Please vote. That item was approved 7-0. Item number 26, consider approving an ordinance pertaining to business by creating section 7-36-1-3601 through 7-36-1-3606, division 7-36-1, article 7-36, chapter 7, Lawton City Code 2015, by creating the requirement for commercial pet establishments to obtain an annual license to operate within the city of Lawton, creating what needs to be submitted as part of the application, creating the standards for said establishment, providing for severability, providing for codification, and establishing an effective date. Yes, ma'am.
One of these days, my titles will be shorter, I promise.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
Good evening. So this ordinance is brought to you after receiving several complaints through Councilwoman Hankins regarding some issues that have been brought to her attention about pet grooming in town. There was some concerns about mobile pet groomers not having a license, and so what we've done is we've created a commercial pet establishment license that requires brick and mortar pet groomers and pet stores and kennels not associated with a veterinary office and mobile groomers to actually all have to come in to get a license, and then they all have the same standards and they'll all be inspected annually.
Does this increase a fee for the people that are already established?
So the people that, there's not currently a license required, so this will be a brand-new license, so there will be a fee, and the resolution that comes next sets that fee.
Will that go to the fee committee?
It did not.
But it will.
Yes, we will get it on the agenda.
Is there any, okay, we'll talk about it here.
Any other comments, or I'd entertain a motion?
A motion to approve the ordinance and read the title only.
I've got a motion to approve the resolution, and do I have a second? Got a second? Please vote.
Well, an ordinance pertaining to business by creating section 7-36-1-3601, 7-36-1-3602, 7-36-1-3603, 7-36-1-3604, 7-36-1-3605, and 7-36-1-3606, Division 7-36-1, Article 736, Chapter 7, Lawton City Code 2015, by creating the requirement for commercial animal establishments to obtain an annual license to operate within the city of Lawton, creating what needs to be submitted as part of the application, creating the standards for the establishment, providing for severability, providing for codification, and establishing an effective date.
Now please vote. That item was approved 7-0. Item number 27, consider approving a resolution amending Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges, Lawton City Code 2015, pertaining to Chapter 7, Business, by creating Article A-36 and establishing an effective date.
So this is a companion item to the previous ordinance. This resolution will set the initial fee at $100 and the renewal fee at $75, along with an annual fire marshal inspection of $50.
Do I have any comments?
And we also put an effective date of 30 days to go in accordance with the ordinance as well.
Yeah, I do have a question, Charlotte. You said the fee was set at 100, but that didn't go before the fees committee, did it? I don't remember.
No, sir, we did not bring
So
it.
that's just one that, okay.
Yeah.
I'd entertain a motion. Got it, okay.
Okay, so the people that have already been here, that are established, that have the brick and mortar, they've just been here, then they're going to be held accountable for the $100 fee, even though they've never had a $100 fee.
Correct, yes, because they will be a brand-new license with the city.
But our purpose behind that is to be sure that the mobile people fall in line to what the brick and mortars have to do.
It's essentially just to make sure that everyone is on even grounds and even footing, and so that we're not just singling out one group, it's so that everybody is on even footing across the town.
Nobody likes fees or anything, but have you get any feedback at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
Thank you.
sir.
I'd entertain a motion.
I think you got a motion.
Did I get it?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Item number 28, consider approving a resolution amending Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges, Lawton City Code 2015, as amended by implementing a 6-month moratorium on the requirement that revenues generated from a capital outlay fee on the utility bill be restricted to the purchase or lease purchase of wheeled or tracked vehicles only, and establish an effective date.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make some introductory remarks here. So,
Yes, sir.
Council, as all of you are aware, it's been a tough budget year. When we started the process back in January, we were, the request outweighed the revenue by $40 million. We've whittled that down to about $2 million. You see on your general fund ledger that I passed out, it says 1.3. We think that there's going to be some insurance adjustments that will kick that up to about $2 million. But that has been a monumental lift getting to that point. And I certainly would be remiss if I didn't recognize our finance director who's here tonight, Rebecca Johnson. She's been instrumental in this process. So is the deputy city manager, Dwayne Burke, and the deputy finance director, Kristen Huntley. But we're to the point now where we've cut all municipal departments. The expenditures will be down next year, which is not really common from what I understand. They did come down the year we had COVID, but typically expenditures don't go down, they go up. So we've done that hard work. You know, we've probably been through the budget over 100 pages long, by line item 4 or 5 times at this point, and this is where we're at. We're roughly $2 million in the hole. And so what I don't want to do is I don't want to do any employee layoffs, which some of the municipalities in the Oklahoma City metropolitan area are currently doing. And I don't want to freeze steps because I don't think it's fair to fund the deficit on the backs of employees. So what I'm asking is I'm asking for this fee, this capital outlay fee. It's approximately $8 on the water bill per account. Last year it generated $2.4 million. I'm asking for that money to be allowed to be transferred to the general fund for a 6-month period to help me balance the budget. Now, I don't intend to spend that money. I am fairly confident that in August, do I need to stop?
I'm sorry.
I mean, I can wait. I just want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm doing.
Is this a companion part of the next one?
No, it's not. Okay, I lost my train of thought. So it's a moratorium for 6 months. I'm asking for this money to help me balance the budget until we can get Westwind loan proceeds late summer, early fall. Once we get the CIP loan, $6.6 million will come back to the general fund. At that point, I'll be okay. And so if I don't need this capital outlay, if I don't need it for operating expenses, I won't use it. But I need this money to help me balance the budget. I'm open to any questions you may have.
Okay, city manager, let me make sure that the citizens understand the $8 capital outlay is already on their water bill.
That's correct. We're not proposing any increase whatsoever. They already paid that expense, and it's a line item on the water bill.
Okay, so the only thing we're just trying to do with is transferring it temporarily.
And for the benefit of our citizens, that money is used to purchase vehicles and repair vehicles. And at present, I have all the vehicles that I need. The city does. In fact, we're auctioning several vehicles that we don't need right now. We have an open auction. There's about 40 pieces of equipment that we're auctioning off. So the city can wait a year for the purchase of new vehicles. So we're in a good position there.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think you answered my question and explained it quite well, that this is not an increase in any way. It's just reallocating money that's already being collected. Instead of using it for one thing, we're using it for another thing.
Yes, sir.
And then that money will be refunded back into that same account.
That's correct.
I just wanted to take a minute and then let somebody make a motion. I just want to take a minute, and early on in the year, we talked about the budget, and I said it was the ugliest budget I'd ever seen. And there were some people that took that wrong, and then there was some people that ran with that and made it sound like we were just in a horrible strait. And it wasn't. It was about every year you get a request for what I need. You know, just like you do at home. It's like everybody puts their needs in a bucket, and here's what we'd like. And then, of course, the money never matches that. And so then you have to start whittling it down. And I just want to say that the staff, the city manager, the staff has done an awesome job of whittling that down. Some of y'all don't know probably, there's been a lot of years that the council had to do that. And it's very difficult for the council to do that because we don't know what each department needs and what they can do without. And I think that each department has done a really good job of doing their fair share of making cuts where they need to make. I think they all understand that we're in this boat together. And I just want to appreciate that. And I'd accept an motion.
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I've got a motion to approve and in a couple seconds. Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Item number 29, per the recommendation of the Council Fees Committee, consider approving a resolution amending Appendix A, Schedule of Fees and Charges, Lawton City Code 2015, to include a 12% consumer price index adjustment to eligible fees in Appendix A of the Lawton City Code 2015 for inclusion in the FY26 budget, and no increase to utility bill line items, stormwater fees, aquatic center pricing, or state-mandated fees, all of which are exempt from this adjustment, and establishing an effective date. Yes, ma'am.
So this is in accordance with the Council Fee Committee to bring forth a resolution raising everything by the 12% CPI. I just wanted to give you guys a couple of items that we were way low on, and we're still going to be way low on compared to some of our peer cities. So, like, one of the examples is the administrative revocable permit that's done with a building permit. So if anyone builds on a utility easement, they're required to get a revocable permit. Broken Arrow charges $500 for theirs. Moore charges $150. We charge $57.50. Sign permits, they range with our peer cities from $35 to $335. We currently charge $28.75 up to $287.50 based on the cost of each sign. Our sign contractors, we charge $115. The peer cities are anywhere from $100 to $300 with that. Record plats and record drawings, we charge a $200 base, and then they charge by lot, and everyone across the board charges by lot or by acre for that. But the other cities range from $100 to $1,500 as their base rate for those.
Thank you very much.
And Council, I would just add that one thing Charlotte could have mentioned but didn't, just this time last year, we had a major industrial consumer paying less than $1 for 1,000 gallons of treated water when it was costing us nearly $5 to provide it. So those are the types of fees that and we've remedied that, and it's not as bad there, but we're still not breaking even. And those are the type of fees that hurt us in a down budget year when sales tax is down.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I have really wrestled with this. With my Ward 5 is a older part of the city, and a lot of the citizens in Ward 5 are on fixed income seniors. We have a lot of challenges that some of the other wards probably don't have, that are more higher income based wards. I do want to say that I am aware that this is a pretty tough budget year with taxes, and I'm amazed at the creativity of the staff as they've come through on these things that they've done. And you know, I woke up at 4 o'clock the last week and just really been doing a lot of research, kind of weighing things. It is no doubt that I am part of this group that is trying to balance this budget and make sure that our city stays viable financially. But yet at the same time, I have to listen to the voices of those in my ward that are less fortunate to be making $150,000, $200,000 a year. And even so, in a military town with families that are deployed, my son is now deployed, his wife is with 3 kids, and she's trying to make her budget work in doing things. So I am definitely in a balance, because I am, like I said, with a higher group of people in our city that are somewhat financially challenged. With that said, one of the things that I've been looking at is the regressive impact on those families, and basically what that means is that $10 on a family that makes $20,000 a year is felt quite a bit different than a family that makes $200,000 a year. And there are folks in my ward that are very challenged. Anyways, any fee that they may have been enjoying just a little bit could probably remove that activity from their family and their children. And so I don't know that I would say that I would be against a 12% increase, but I would say that it's a difficult position to be in, representing families, like I said, that aren't necessarily going to be impacted by just about any type of increase. As we've been talking about these fees, I'm the chairman of the fee committee, as we've been talking about these fees, I think that it is important that we get in line with the rest of the cities that are in our state. I've looked at the consumer price index that we use out of Dallas, and there are other consumer price indexes that we could use that are probably more in line with cost of living levels that we have here in Lawton, which are considerably cheaper than in a major metropolitan area. I think that my statements right now have less to do with support or not support, as much as they have to do with the fact that there are 5 groups that I've pretty much studied that will have a greater impact on any type of fee increase. And mind you, life goes on, things cost more. That's just the way it is. But I do want to put out on the table that indeed, as we move forward in dealing with our budget, and budgets are dealt with from the back end or the front end, revenue or cutting costs. And I just want to make sure that we understand, as we move forward to increase revenue, that there are groups that will be impacted. And I think that they do affect our economy somewhat in a small way. even with the small businesses, it's probably going to be felt. But pretty much that's my take on a lot of these fees. And it's pretty important for us to realize that the Bible says the poor will be with you always, and that as we do these things, I think it's important that we do make sure that we deal with things. Sometimes things can be done, I've always said, like a man with a slow hand, and sometimes things can be done incremental. I mean, even these kind of fees can be done on an incremental basis. Not to say that they're not still going to have an impact and they won't be troublesome, but I want to go back to say that our city does provide a relief for older families and seniors on our water utility bill. And if you don't know that, then it's best for you to contact the city. So we are aware of that, we do see that, but like I said, it doesn't go without saying that I appreciate all the work the city manager and his staff has done to try to balance this budget, because it is challenging. But at the same time, I do want everyone on the council and the citizens of Lawton to know that these things will impact some of our families. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Ms. Williams?
I have a question. How do we get to that 12% possibly increase?
Councilwoman Williams, that's a reflection of, so in 2022, council passed a resolution that stated each year they would raise the fees in accordance with the Consumer Price Index for the Southwest region of the United States, and each one of those 3 years, 22, 23, and 24, we did not raise them in accordance with the resolution that this council passed. If you add those percentages together, it comes out to 12.2 or 12.3. So to just make it simple, we put it at 12%. So that's where that 12% comes from. And during the same portion, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that inflation went up 15%. And so we're still, even at raising our fees 12%, we're still not keeping up with inflation.
I'd like to echo also what Councilman Hampton was stating. In my ward, Ward 7, I have a diverse of constituents for his finances. Those that's very less fortunate on a fixed income. I have some that's on the middle, and then some that's wealthy, but I always think about those who are on the fixed income. So that's all I want to say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I really struggle with this. I mean, just to be totally honest, just in the sense that I've had several citizens that have called me and said, hey, we can't afford it. I've had several business people that have called and said, man, this is just a death blow for us. I've had some builders that have called and said, hey, if this happens, we're going to go outside city limits. And they might go outside city limits anyway. I don't know. But I just think, I don't know if we should continue with it, if we should table it, if there should be more research. I'll leave that up to people that are a little bit wiser than I am when it comes to this. But yeah, it concerns me. But again, inflation's high, the city's struggling. I just hate to see our low-income, middle-income people struggle. And I hate to think that a builder, a person that has a business, is just barely making ends meet, have to struggle even more. That's all.
Council, I would just want to interject. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I do want to praise the staff with the idea that our water bills are not going to be touched this year. And that is something that affects every single person. Every fee is not going to affect every household. So I think we have to keep that in mind too.
That was one of the things I was going to say. That I don't know if there was any confusion or what, but the way I look at it is when you're trying to balance a budget, you can either do it across the board to everybody. You raise the utility rates, and that way everybody pays, or you pay you cause the individuals that use services above and beyond what everyday citizens use. Just as Councilwoman Chapman said, this does not affect anyone other than somebody that comes down to get a permit or something of that nature. Your actual water bill is not involved, it's not going up. You know, I don't know about somebody going to go and build someplace else because of 12%. Yeah, maybe that's probably the same people that used to not put sidewalks in their neighborhoods. And then, you know, we have to all wonder why we don't have sidewalks in neighborhoods. And that's because there was some builders that said they didn't want it, and there was some council people that said, okay, we'll fix that. We need to do what's best for all the citizens of Lawton. I think that, you know, is it great? No. Do I want to? No, but I'll tell you that part of the reason we have to is because we didn't before. That's what happens when you put it off. And that's why we made it foolproof that it would get done every year. But we also left ourselves an out where we could say, ooh, well, we won't do it this year. But that's what happens. Eventually, you have to pay. And I know for a fact, because the first year that I was on council, many, many, many years ago, we raised the utility bill about 23%, I think. It was $7 plus an increase. And that was because it hadn't been done for so many years, and at some point you just have to do it. So, Council, I really and truly think that this is the best option. We have to have a balanced budget, and the two options are you know, the staff has done an awesome job of cutting. At some point, you have to either spread it across every single person that pays, or you have to spread it to the people that are using services above and beyond. And that's my 2 cents.
Mayor Pro Tem, I just would add that the fee committee recommended approval 3-1 on this matter.
And if nobody wants to do it, I think I'm legal. I'd make a motion to approve. Second. Got a motion and a second. Please vote. That item failed 3-4, bringing us to item number 30. Consider approving an ordinance pertaining to business by amending sections 7-28-1-2802 through 7-28-1-2803, 7-28-1-2806, and 7-28-1-2807, Division 7-28-1, Article 7-28, Lawton City Code 2015, by adding the requirement that a copy of this Oklahoma sales tax permit be provided as part of the application, changing the director of the building development department to the supervisor of the building division or their designee, removing the existing home occupation language that states that those operating prior to March 31st, 1994 shall be registered by the date, providing for severability and establishing an effective date. Yes, ma'am.
I promise one of these days it'll get shorter.
Nope.
So this is another item for our Chapter 7, which is our businesses, where we're attempting to make everything the same across the board. Home occupations have been a license requirement for a long time. It's a one-time license. But one of the things that we've never required was them to submit their Oklahoma State sales tax permit. The businesses that we do require licenses on, food establishments, alcohol bars, all of that, that's a requirement of their license is to submit that. So we're trying to make everything even across the board with that. And then we're just cleaning up some language. We've not been called the Department of Building Development in the entire 16 years that I've been with the city. So we are correcting that to the correct title and then just removing the existing home occupation license. Any questions?
No questions from council? Read the ordinance.
Motion.
Oh, we got
A motion that we
first.
approve and read the title only.
Got a motion and a second.
An ordinance pertaining to business by amending section 7-28-1-2802, section 7-28-1-2803, 7-28-1-2806, and 7-28-1-2807, Division 728-1, Article 728, Chapter 7, Lawton City Code 2015, by adding the requirement that a copy of the Oklahoma sales tax permit be provided as part of the application, changing the Director of Building Development Department to the Supervisor of Building Division or their designee, removing the existing home occupations language that states that those operating prior to March 31st, 1994 shall be registered by that date, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Please vote.
I got a question.
No, we got a question.
I'm not sure I understand what this does. Does this mean that the home builders that come in for permits have to have a...
No, so this is for those that operate businesses out of their homes. So you've got some businesses, some tax accountants, some computer repair. We've recently had someone that sells guns and firearms request one. But so this is for anybody that occupies and runs a business out of their home. The license has been there for a very long time. All this does is require that they have their Oklahoma sales tax permit.
Was this a requirement from the state or just something we're doing?
It's something that we're doing as it makes it even across the board with the rest of the licenses.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Now we can vote.
Please vote.
I need that screen down there.
That item passed 6-1. Bringing us to item number 31, consider approving an ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes by amending section 16-4-2-424, Division 16-4-2, Article 16-4, Chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, by creating the requirement for when a special permit is issued outside of normal working areas, the city manager shall be notified within 24 hours, and the city council shall be notified at the next council meeting, provided for severability and establishment of an effective date.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this ordinance change is just notification procedure. Currently, we don't, we allow for contractors to begin work at 7 a.m. and work to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We had some difficulty with a particular contractor working on the west side of town. We had a lot of citizens complain. There were some questions about whether a special permit was issued. So, and there was a lot of back and forth to determine if that was the case. But ultimately, we think it's a good idea that if we're going to give a contractor, particularly a construction contractor, the authority to work after hours and on weekends, I should be aware and the council should be aware, and that's what this provision does.
Can I ask a quick question? And I looked for it in the code and I couldn't find it, but that doesn't mean anything. Is there a definition of emergency? Because it does mention emergency. It's allowable if there's an emergency, but it never defines what an emergency is.
I don't recall that, but I do remember it saying that it was a special permit, and so I think that that could be broad enough to include an emergency.
Okay,
But Charlotte, do you recall?
Yeah, code doesn't define what an emergency is, but something that we would consider an emergency if there's like a sinkhole or, danger of a structure falling down, something that would be a life and safety thing, or, sewer and water main breaks or service line breaks and that kind of items would be considered an emergency to us.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because in my mind, it's like, yeah, to a contractor, getting done 2 days early is an emergency, and that's not an emergency for a citizen or the rest
Right,
of us.
and there were a lot of complaints, like 9, 10 o'clock at night, during the school week, and then 6 a.m. in the weekends.
I thought we had hours on that. Or
We
they
do, we do.
So they're violating the law when they do that.
They were.
So my question is two-part. A special license, give me an example of a special license.
A special permit.
Okay, a special permit, what would that be? Because a building permit is a building permit.
Correct.
And there's not really any restrictions on a building permit other than those that we have where you're not out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, a lot of HOAs do that. I don't know if we actually have a code that states, I know when you get a building permit, it's not on there that you can't go to work at 5 in the morning, and some do. But, so I'm wondering why we're doing this is all.
Yeah, so there's not a code section in the building permit side of things. It's more a noise ordinance requirement.
Right.
And so the noise ordinance limits on the weekdays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's really not a good clarification for weekend work, which I know happens in town. But a special permit would really be if, like I said, there was a, danger of a structure falling down and they were trying to get it shored back up, or, an emergency sewer or water line break and you've got sewer backing up into your house or something like that.
And this ordinance change doesn't change the existing code. It's just a notification. It's just a feedback notification to keep elected leaders and city leadership in the loop. That's all. That's all this is.
And if council doesn't have a problem with it, there's a lady in the audience that'd like to speak. If you can, you got 3 minutes.
That doesn't count walking.
I appreciate the council listening to me on this. I am a property owner adjacent to where there is some construction.
You need to get your name and address.
Oh, Ellen Robinson, and I'm 6931 Southwest Beta Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're building apartments directly behind my house, and we knew it was coming. We've lived there 25 years, and we knew it was always a possibility. What we didn't anticipate was the heavy equipment operating 7 days a week starting, we've had them 6:30 Sunday morning, and it's heavy equipment with the clanging, the banging, the beeping, and so I'm just hoping that with this ordinance, that if they are given a special permit, that it is for like an emergency situation, not because a contractor has an urgency to get something done to meet a deadline to complete a project. So I hope the council understands the impact it has on the residents, and I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One more question I have, John. So it's just something that we're going to know about because of the special permit when they get that. Now, how are we going to enforce that? We'll have that knowledge that that's going out. So we will assign extra people to that area, or just wait till we get a complaint? I'm just curious on how it would work.
How will we enforce the notification?
Well, it's going to be a notification that they're going to be working out there. So if they say they're going to work at 5 o'clock on Sunday morning, we're certainly not going to allow that, I wouldn't think.
Right.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So then we would just tell them they couldn't, and then if they were reported, we'd just send the police out and arrest them.
Well, we probably wouldn't arrest them. We would cite them, but I don't think it rises to the level of arrest. But it might, and I think some citizens might be happy with that.
That's the third offense.
Let me give you
strike and you're out.
Let me give you an emergency. When the trash truck fell through the road in Ward 5, it was quite loud. Getting that fixed.
Yeah.
That was an emergency, and I'm sure that everybody felt good about that.
So, and I would like to say something else. The special permit is only valid for 3 days at a time, so it would have to be something that could be taken care of within that time frame.
Thank you very much.
make a motion to move to approve the ordinance, waive the reading of the word. I'm sorry, someone else? Oh, okay. That's what I want to do.
I've got a motion, and read the ordinance, please.
An ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes by amending Section 16424, Division 1642, Article 16.4, Chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, by creating the requirement that when a special permit issued outside of normal working areas in the city manager shall be notified within 24 hours, and city council shall be notified at the next city council meeting, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Item number 32, consider an ordinance pertaining to finance and taxation, amending Section 10-2-205, Article 10-2, Chapter 10 of the Lawton City Code 2015, to temporarily suspend and restrict usage of general sales tax collected from the sale of medical marijuana and medical marijuana products for a set period of July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, I'm going to make a motion in just a minute. I just wanted to say a few words on this. This money that's taken in the tax basis is about $400 to $500 a year, $1,000. Is that correct? Somewhere around $400 to $500,000 a year. This money has been set aside previously to take care of sidewalks, which we have a lot of sidewalks going on. Sidewalks are important, and I know both the Mayor Pro Tem and Mayor both love sidewalks, but we also have a budget crunch going on. So this motion is about taking that money and just diverting it from putting in and using it on sidewalks, which we don't have any restriction that it has to be sidewalks, and give it to the city manager, who has all authority to spend this wisely, and he can move it around the different departments how he sees fit to do. But there's one stipulation on this. It's for 1 year only. We're going to do this till we get our budget back in shape. So it'll be a 1 year only project, and it'll have to be revisited if it even looks like it's going to be continued. But I think this would go a long ways to help us get our budget in better shape. It'd also give the city manager some flexibility to help some of the different departments that I know need help, and it'd be good for all of us. So I make a motion to approve the ordinance, waive the reading of the ordinance, and read the title only. I'm getting there.
I got a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Read the ordinance, please.
An ordinance pertaining to finance and taxation, amending Section 10-2-205, Article 10-2, Chapter 10, Lawton City Code 2015, to temporarily suspend the restricted usage of general sales tax collected from the sale of medical marijuana and medical marijuana products for a set period of July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, providing for severability, establishing an effective date.
Please vote. That item passed 7-0. Brings us to staff reports. Provide City Council with an update on monthly sales tax revenue for the third quarter FY 2025. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, if you will look at your slide deck, I've presented you with the sales tax report for the third quarter. The news is the same as I've carried every quarter this year. We are down 1% for each month compared to 2024. It was due only to the conservative budgeting that we are not under budget. However, with cost rising and the decrease in revenue, we are still down.
Good job.
Thank you.
Wish we didn't have to do that.
I agree.
Any questions from council? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Provide City Council with an update on the ease of taking payments.
I saw it today. Brand new machine out there being put in.
I would like to give a brief introduction stating that working with several departments in the city, I would say that the ease of payments for utility billing as well as short-term rentals has increased drastically since our last conversation. We now accept short-term rental payments at the drive-through window. It is not invoiced. You don't get a receipt for it, but we will accept them, and we're sharing that with the permits department. And then I will give the rest of the update to the deputy city manager. It's exciting.
Exciting as a Dropbox can be. So I tried to make a commitment to get it done in 7 days. We didn't quite make that. I was unaware that the previous Dropbox had actually been destroyed, so we had to get a new one. But if you notice out there in the drive-through lane as you're coming through, this would be off of 10th Street. We are in the process of installing a brand-new Dropbox. It'll be installed at where the opening begins to go into 2 lanes, and we'll create a bypass lane where people can come through, drop their payment off, and then go around the traffic that's in line to make their payments. And I also found out we had a Dropbox in the kiosk the whole time, and I didn't even know it. So there's 2 places to drop that stuff. So we
Can we still put that extra one in the city manager's office?
no. We don't want it in the manager's office. But it'll be real easy, and they're creating the signage. We hope to have that up and taking payments there by the end of the week.
Thank you both very much. Appreciate it. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Smith? Chapman? Gale? Hampton? Uyghur? Williams?
Yes.
Warren?
Council, we're back here tonight.
Mike, let me know if you need anything. I did see Charlotte on the figures. I said, send me a screenshot of it. So I will get that to you tomorrow. All right. Have a safe trip back. Tim, do you need anything? Oh, I'm spending the night. Oh, good. Yeah. You're good, Tim? Yeah, good. Let me know if you need anything.
I would accept a motion to come back into regular session.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Smith?
Here.
Chapman? Gill?
Yes.
Hampton? Uyghur? Williams?
Present.
Warren?
Present.
Fixing to leave.
Tim?
Item 35, pursuant to section
Item 35, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convening an executive session to discuss pending action in United States District Court for Western District of Oklahoma titled Kent Jackson as personal representative of the estate of Israel Williams versus City of Lawton et al., case number CIV 23284G. That conversation occurred and no action is necessary. Addendum item 1 from executive session. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss the status of an ongoing investigation concerning the tenant-based rental assistance program. That conversation occurred and no action is necessary.
Got a motion to adjourn. And a second. Call the roll, please.
Smith?
Yes.
Chapman? Gill?
Yes.
Hampton?
Yes.
Uyghur? Williams?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.